Hi everyone, welcome to day 9. So day 9 was obviously for yesterday. Lots been happening. I'm going to do another video for day 10, which is today. It'll make sense in a moment why I've had to do things a little bit back to front. Like I said, a lot's been happening. I'm going to go back to day 8 yesterday. So I really wanted to do a video last night after my day, but I just couldn't get the words out. I actually did a few takes and it just wouldn't flow, but I had a massive day. So I will start off with that day. So yesterday I started at 9 o'clock, had some dry needling because my body's trying to adapt with all the training. I've been doing so much massage lately as well. So that was awesome and I really love that. That was 9 a.m. yesterday. Then after that, I went and did a massage at home and some energy work with a client. So that was always fun to do. One of my favorite clients. They were all my favorite, but she's one of my big ones. So there was that, and then I haven't been able to tell you yet. So you know how I've been saying about closing doors, opening doors? So it basically just threw all my plans out the window, but I knew it was coming. So basically I left a job, and then within a week, since we've been doing the videos, because I've been in flow, I applied for a job. Within 24 hours, got an email from the boss. Then she set me up with an interview, had the interview. They were happy with me. Then they set me up for a trial. And then literally yesterday and the day before, got my letter of offer. It threw my day out of whack because I did a full day today, this Friday. But yesterday I had to go in there for a couple of hours to do induction to learn. So it's exactly what I wanted. So basically I'm going to be doing mobile massage for a big company for aged care. So, Tuesdays and Fridays, I get to look after people that really need it. So everything happens for a reason. Like my last place, it served its purpose. I learned, I grew, but then I knew that it was time to go. And, after my next video, it actually makes sense where I am today. But in saying that, when they were preparing me for my work for today, it was going to be overwhelming and lots of appointments. And I can drive all the way to New South Wales or really up north, like past Coomera and stuff like that on the Gold Coast. So yeah, big changes, but no more weekend work for me. Sometimes I'll still do it if I need to help my client. So stay on track. So yesterday, by the time I got home, really like, oh my God, I've got to be in New South Wales because today was the last day of daylight savings. So my job today was to be down in New South Wales by 8 o'clock Queensland time. So as you can see, yesterday I was like, oh my God, like everything's happening. My training went out of whack. So this is always what sort of happens to me. Like I start getting to flow, getting to vibration, things start coming in, and then things start pouring in, and I'm like, hey, what about all the stuff I need to do? So I will get on top of it. But now, like, I'm creating that routine, that schedule, that pattern in my life, which is what I wanted, and that, I need to be healthier to look after my people, and the people that I'm going to be looking after are like literally from 70 up to over 90. So they need me, they need what I can give them. So I have to be my best version for them. So when I got home last night, I was just buggered. So I tried to do my videos and it just wouldn't come out. I think too because it was what I needed to talk about, because I got to do part 2 of the heart chakra, and last night I was trying to talk about grief. Okay, grief is not an easy topic to talk about, because the heart center, it's about self-care, self-love, self-compassion, forgiveness, unconditional love. But a huge part of it is grief. Now, with my work with massage and Reiki, I deal with a lot of people's grief. Also, grief in all different parts of our life, like grief of, like when we have endings of things, like when, we finish high school or finish a job, relationships, kids growing up, people leaving us, all different stuff. So there's all different ways of grief. Also too, with grief, the one that I've been also talking about in other videos is how, like, you think your life is supposed to be a certain way and it doesn't end up that way. That's a form of grief as well. But the grief that I want to talk about, and I guess it's a bit hard to talk about because, everyone doesn't know how they feel about it. Grief is something when someone passes that we love, that, we don't know how to deal with it. We don't know how to cope. And that's where the heart chakra can get very blocked. And then that's stored all around our back, our arms, our shoulders. I definitely know when someone's got grief in there because they've got that shell and they're closed off, and I try my best. And the way we do that is by acknowledging it, and finding out about the person, letting them talk about that person, let them be vulnerable in that space, letting them acknowledge that, when people pass over, they are still always with us. Okay, we can talk to them at any time. If we need help in our lives, we call on them. So with my work, I do deal with a lot of people with grief, and I have had that gift, I would say. Sometimes I don't think it's a gift, but it is a gift. I will, some people, there's Tiger, he did this last night too. So when people pass over, like since I was a kid, I've had lots of family members pass and friends pass. Like some people can see them, they can feel them. Well, I feel them and I hear them. So I normally always receive messages and guidance for myself or for the family members. So, as a kid being 14, hearing that sort of stuff, it does freak you out, but then it's been my blessing in my life. Okay? Another thing that I do want to talk about with grief is when our family members pass. I want you to think outside the box a little bit. Sometimes when people pass over, they haven't lived the right way in life, or they've got unfinished business, and it's hard when we're in grief, we can't see things like that. But a lot of people, they need help when they're on the other side. Okay, they need to clear up karma and things like that and get things right. They sometimes need to communicate to family members because they haven't had a chance to say goodbye, that sort of stuff. So with my work, I definitely deal a lot with that sort of stuff. I'll be massaging on the table, and then all of a sudden I've built that trust with that person, and then they'll start talking about whatever they need to, whoever's passed over, or they'll get emotional, they'll get upset. But I know when I'm doing that with someone, I'm helping them, and usually most of the times that family member, they usually turn up at anniversaries, birthdays, when they actually pass over. Usually I find when people just pass, they're always still sort of around till after the funeral, and also about usually 4 to 6 weeks after, depending on what's going on. So that stuff's quite full on, but I do love it and I do acknowledge it, and I do, they want peace. Sometimes people can't get peace until they do what they need to do. So with everything that I've been talking about the last few weeks, to live your best life and in purpose is so that we can make sure, yes, we're here to have fun and we've got free will, but like anything, we do have consequences. So my message with that sort of stuff is just live each day with your best foot forward, okay? Come from an open heart space, and that's the thing, you never really know who you're affecting in your life. What you do affects everyone else. So that should be something that we think about as well. So yeah, a lot of people that have passed that I do get to help other people, it's usually for me to tell their family members, to whatever messages that they need to hear, but also to help them clear their stuff in their life. So that makes us think really differently. Just because we can't see them doesn't mean they're not there. So, we all know this stuff as well, and sometimes we need to remember and acknowledge that, and that like in your life, you are not stuck, okay? Our family members, our friends and things like that, they cannot help us if we don't ask for help. So if you're having a down day, or something in your life is not working out, or you can't figure it out, call on your favorite person. Okay, they're your biggest fan club. Okay, they're waiting for you to ask for help. This is why a lot of the times you can see that you are divinely protected and guided. I know my grandfathers, my uncles, like so many of my friends from school, because especially the ones with my friends with school that have cut their lives real short, they've missed out on certain things in their life. And I know when I do what I need to do, they're still getting to do that through someone else. Does that make sense? It's not an easy topic to talk about, but grief is a huge one. Grief also, like, someone may pass away, but you might not feel it for years and years. You might block it and you shut it down. But again, same thing, like any other emotion, if you don't process it and acknowledge it, it will get stuck in the body. And a lot of people, they will get really sick because basically they haven't dealt with grief. When this is a perfect example, when you're a husband and wife and you've been together for 40 or 50 years, okay, and you've heard of this. Say one of them will pass away, and then within 6 months, 2 months, whatever it is, the other one passes away. They basically died of a broken heart. Okay? So that sort of stuff is real, and it's huge. Okay? So, yes. Today, my message about grief is there anyone that you need to think of? Watching this video with me, is that reminding you of someone? Okay? They love you, they care about you, they want to help you. Okay, so this is where, like, we're not just here for, work, sleep, food, that's it. There's so much more to this world. So that's really important as well. Don't be afraid of grief. When we cry, that's us cleansing and clearing and feeling. Okay? The quickest way to move stuff is to feel it, to acknowledge it, to process it, write it down in a journal, Another big thing that I love and I've grown up with is, sometimes I'll go through times in my life and I'll pull out some of my favourite pictures of my family members and I'll put a candle there for them, that I love you, I care about you, I haven't forgotten you. I do that on my cat Max. He's been gone nearly 6 years as well, and he's still someone I will never forget. So, that goes with our pets too. So don't ever think it's, something that you shouldn't talk about, because you should talk about it. You should, just because they go and they're not here doesn't mean that you forget them. Okay, and sometimes just think about what they have done. Yes, sometimes, and then also too, there's some people in our lives that have hurt us and they've passed over. We don't, there's that sort of stuff. So, we try and heal things all different ways, okay? Because, sometimes in life we may feel stuck in our life, and it might be something a bit out of the ordinary that's like this, like, oh, do I need to forgive this person? Do I need to feel that this, you know what I mean? That sort of stuff. So that is huge. So I couldn't get the words out last night. But yeah, spirits, people passing over. Like, I literally received this gift when my grandfather passed away. One day we'll talk about him, but all I know is, I'm helping him clear up his stuff when I live my life better. Okay? Unfortunately, when we're living life, sometimes we don't know any better. But if you can think of it like a third person, it is a massive classroom, and we've got so many lessons to do. And if that's something that you don't understand, you can come and see me about that sort of stuff. There's nothing too weird to talk about with me. I could spend videos and videos of the things that I've seen and heard, but then you'll be like, oh wow. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. But so don't ever think when you go through something or see something out of the ordinary that there's something wrong with you, because there's not, because we all have these skills. So this is day 9, which should have been last night, but like I said, everything was a bit full on. I will post my next video as well, because today was really exciting. I will get on top of my training over the weekend. From tomorrow, because I lost today, so I'm a bit out of whack. But going forward next week, I'll be in my pattern with my new job and my clients, and then in another week or so it will be Easter, so I'll have some time off. So I haven't forgotten, like today, I'll tell it in the next video, but I had to make sure that I can eat properly now. Like, I have to, because I've got all these appointments and stuff. So everything's starting to fall together. Sometimes it'll just feel like it's like a big mess, but it will make sense. So take it easy, everyone. Any questions about this stuff, message me. I would love to help you. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.